down, da 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 da. Halo, 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 diva, yeah, yeah, and yeah. Halo, listen up, listen up. Let me tell you, we are coming into a very big season. This is coming up the summer 2021 for UNA University. This is a very big season. This is a full load that I'm on this season that we are offering you this season with the UNA University. So you all want to be there. What do we have? We've got history. We've got financial instruments, and we have back to basics. All right. That back to basics is one of those very much requested courses for those who are new to this game and who really are not sure of it. Now, we also have a lot of people in this game who've been around for quite some time, and they still have not done the basics of getting their documents on record because they have questions, because they have allowed certain things to stop them in their path, because they don't even have a secure system of people to deal with and talk to help them go through the process. That's what UNA is for. Now, I want to say hello to my spirits for bringing us together and allowing us to be here to share this information and share with you at this time. And y'all, my spirits with vessels, I love ya. Hello. Thank y'all for joining me, and thank you for being here with me. Now, we are live on YouTube. Y'all go and help us out. Subscribe to the UNA America or UNA University. Actually, it would be UNA Republic on YouTube and UNA America on Facebook. Go and subscribe so that we can, you can help us build that. We're building that, getting all our videos up there as we build that system over there. Sunshine, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. Everybody else in the house, thank you for joining us. Everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Y'all, thank you. So we've got a big season coming up. I'm going to get on that today, what's going on in this upcoming season. And I'm going to speak on some things because I've had some conversations with quite a few people, and I want to go through why these sessions are so important that we're putting down. This is a full load, but I want to go through why they're so important and why you want to be a part of them. And you all can go to unauniversity.com and you can see all of the seminars that we have lined up for this season. All right, so now let me first go into this. The history session, that is going to be on July the 11th. July the 11th. Those sessions are on Sundays. This Sunday, July the 11th is when our first session starts for our history seminar. All right, we are going through the history from, the beginning of the planet. We're going to be dealing with what's going on and how the history intertwines with the quote unquote government of today. We're going to be going into some women's studies and what the role of the woman was truly originally in the society. And we are going to have documentation from which discipline you could think about what's really going on and what happened and what's been hidden from us. Okay. Now, again, you sisters, y'all definitely want to be there. And those of y'all who have been asking questions and have not been getting answers to them, this is a place where you can come to get some answers. At the very least, you got to have a knowledge of how to search certain things. You're going to be able to see certain things and put pieces together because we're all piecing this thing back together and in our understanding of what really happened back then. So you want to come into this seminar because you're going to start seeing some people be revealed about who they really are in this game. All right. So I want to thank you all for joining us and being here with us as we go through that. So that's the history session. It's very important. We got the Back to Basics seminar. That's going to be on Mondays. So that's going to start July 12th on Mondays. That's going to be at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you want to be a part of that, those two, both history and the Back to Basics, those are both $300 seminars. go and enroll for those. You can go to unauniversity.com, unauniversity.com, and you'll see all three of our seminars that we have for this season lined up. Financial instruments is going to be the third course that we offer. That is going to be on Wednesdays. That starts July 14th. For Wednesdays, all three of these courses are 10-week seminars. They're 10 weeks. Now, the financial instruments, you have to have a prerequisite. You have to have the basics. You have to have, be under trust or about to go into trust. You have to have the underlying fundamentals of what a trust is in order to be able to get into that seminar. That's very important. This is a very, very powerful seminar because here we're going to start to reveal some things about what the instruments are and how to put them into play for yourself. So that's a big seminar. All right, you want to be a part of that. So go to unauniversity.com. All right, unauniversity.com. You're going to see all three of those. Going to click on whichever seminar you're wanting to join. And we're going to make sure we get you enrolled in these courses. They're very important, highly powerful, coming up July 11th, starting July 11th. So the history course is July 11th, and that's going to be in the afternoon. So that's going to be 3 to 5. And then the Back to Basics, that's July the 12th. That's going to be 7 to 9 on Mondays. Financial Instruments, 7 to 9 on Wednesdays. So, y'all, this is a powerful, powerful season. All right. Now, why are we offering all of these courses? What's the importance, Steva? Listen, I don't do this that often, but I'm ready to tag everybody who is a member or a friend in the friends list of UNA America. You get ready to get tagged, baby, because I want y'all to know what's going on now with respect to the history. I get a lot of people who are thinking, "Oh, I don't need the history. I just need the paperwork." Listen up. When you don't understand the history, then you're going to continue to make mistakes in this game because you're not seeing how these puzzle pieces fit together. As you the more you understand about different disciplines, whether it be history, science, biblical history, ancient scriptures, even, when we're talking about the whole diplomatic relationships between the different countries, the more you understand about that, the more all of this information starts to piece together, and you know who's who when you desire to do business with these people. You got to know the history. So you know how they say, if you don't know your history, what? You're doomed to repeat it. Well, we're trying to make sure you don't repeat history. All right, once again, we're live on YouTube. All right, live on Facebook. YouTube, you can catch us at UNA Republic. All right, UNA Republic on YouTube, UNA America on Facebook. All right, so now, that's the history. You need to understand how these things tie in together. When we're talking about back to basics, listen, those of y'all who know me and know how serious I am about the universal laws and how important it is to know them and walk them in whatever it is you're doing with respect to these laws. So people, you get the idea because somebody told you, well, if I get this paperwork, and I go fight them in court, and I can do all this other stuff. But if your spiritual energies are not right, and I tell you, it is not easy to keep those in order. If your spiritual energies are not right, you are not going to have success in any kind of paperwork that you file. Secondly, you need to understand that the paperwork is not what makes you free. I had somebody recently ask me, well, Diva, I just want to make sure, I went and filed my documents and my UCC and my declaration, and I want to make sure I'm free. If you have to ask me if you're free, then you're not free. Let's make that clear. Let's make that 100% clear. Your freedom does not come with any kind of documentation or paperwork. That is not what gives you freedom. Your knowledge of self. And I can't stress that enough because I have a lot of people who come to me and they'll say, oh, I was with this organization over here and I was with this organization over here. And they filed this document for me and they told me I was going to be free when they filed this document. Listen up, pay attention. because nobody can file your freedom documents for you. You have to file that for yourself. Nobody can stand for you in this game. If somebody is standing for you, then you are not sovereign. You are not free. And I'm going to get into that in some of these things that I hear people coming at me about with respect to these people who are calling themselves fighting the system and all of that. Y'all need to understand. I'm going to make this note because, there is no fight. The fight is within. So if you got people I'm fighting the system and all that, okay, the fight is within. All right, so now, when you are dealing with filing your documents or what have you, you must, first of all, know what the document is that you're filing. You must understand its purpose. That is the only way you're going to be able to stand on it. I say this all the time. I don't care how many people I know in this game. The ones who truly learn to stand are the ones who know what to say and how to speak when it comes to this law. And it's not about no code, statutes, and ordinances either. It's not about some case law. When you truly know the highest of laws and you stand under the universe or whatever your God is, then that's when you're really standing, not when you're just, constantly talking about, I got a paperwork and this paperwork says this. Well, you're going to show somebody who is clueless this paperwork. If you don't know how to stand, they're going to challenge you. There's always a challenge. Everybody who's in this game, you're going to get challenged. And if you just show some paperwork and you don't know how to stand on it, well, then you're gonna find yourself in some trouble. You got to know how to stand. You got to understand these documents. So it's not just about, hey, I'm going to go file this. No, now the other thing is, in these seminars, we walk you through it step by step. So if you've been doing this game for so many years and you haven't gotten anywhere or what have you, because you don't understand what's really going on with your documents, why you're filing it, where you're filing them, then you want to be a part of the seminar. All right. So that's important when we're talking about back to basics, because I get so many people coming to me, well, if I do this and if I do that, if I file this, then I'm free. Am I free, Diva? I just want to make sure. You're asking me if you're free. That means you're not. So the next thing I have to tell them with respect to back to basics, the question is, do you understand who you are? Do you understand the highest of laws? Do you understand the universal laws? Do you understand why, you're telling me about, these cops and this and that, and you're speaking negatively? Do you understand why you're drawing that energy in the first place? Because if you don't understand that, then you're going to continue to go in circles and you're going to continue to not see your freedom, because you're the one who's bringing the problems and the issues in the first place. Nah, they did it to us, Diva. So you don't know who you are as a spiritual entity. That's problem number one right there. You don't know who you are as a spiritual entity. That's the biggest problem right there. So when we come into back to basics, we are definitely going over the universal laws. And I got a problem with it. I really do. Because you're not even going to last in this game. You're not going to last in this game. I get people ask me, well, what's the end game? Well, if you don't want to recognize the universal laws as the highest laws, which those who are playing the game, they absolutely recognize those laws. Look up the universal laws as well as the 7 Hermetic principles. If you don't want to recognize those, then go sit in the corner, because you're going to stay pissed off about what's going on, because you can't change, because you don't know how to change self. When we become self-governed, then all these issues that we're having, they got to go away. When you do harm to somebody, do you repair them, or do you run away and hide? Or do you stand and make amends? See, that we're going to get into scripture. Now, this is not a religious course, but you've got to understand all of these things, the Bible, and how it plays a role in this society and how you can use it to uplift yourself. But when we're talking about scriptures, it says agree with your adversaries. Agree. Okay, I agree. And then take the opportunity to make amends with them if there's an issue. That's very important. So here we go. Back to basics. So that's why that's important, because we're going to go through the most basic side, the spiritual laws, and how your energies affect everything that's going on in this society. Everything that you're seeing in your dimension, those universal laws play a role in it. The more you know them, the more you lean on them and ride on them, the better everything that you decide to do will turn out. That's important. All right. Now, the other thing about the Back to Basics seminar and all of these seminars, we do not file your documents for you. If you do not file your documents yourself, you are not a sovereign. You're not. And I've, had people to call that word dirty or whatever. Sovereign is a bad word. Okay. Whatever, you better know who you are. But if you have somebody else filing your documents and you are clueless about what's in your document, you can't have freedom that way, because ignorance, as I say, and freedom do not coexist. Ignorance and freedom do not coexist. They can't exist. If you're trying to be free or sovereign or whatever you want to call yourself, you cannot have ignorance in the game, because you will surely be devoured. So that's why it's important to know what documents you're filing. Back to Basics is the course that's going to help you get that understanding so that you know how to stand. Because when it comes to court, and we're going to deal with that, I get a lot of people with court cases. And there's simple things that we can do, first of all, to avoid court. And then even if you get into court, knowing how to handle yourself in court so that you win. You are always the winner. When you have knowledge, you are always the winner. There is always remedy. Always. Always and always. Always. There's always remedy. But if you are not standing in a righteous place and you don't know who you are, then you're not going to see that remedy. So let me start off here, because I want to get into this. I've had some cases. People have come to me with certain cases. All right, I'm gonna get into this. Some people have, talked to me about certain cases with respect to somebody going to jail and this and that. Now, one of the things that we need to remember is that there are those who put out news that don't want anybody to have this information. So they will put out information to scare you, to keep you from gaining your freedom and searching for the truth and searching for the facts. With that being said, let's make sure we keep some things in mind. And we're going to go over this in the seminar as well. There are certain things that we talk about of how to handle yourself as a sovereign when these people are sending cases at you. Remember, there is no government. Everything is about banking and corporate. There's no these quote unquote crimes, commercial court and criminal court. They're all commercial. Everything is commercial because these government doesn't exist. These are just private corporations that are exerting their code, statutes, and ordinances on you. And because you don't know who you are, you put yourself under their jurisdiction. All right? Let's understand something. All right? When we're talking about people who go to jail, whenever you watch these cases, pay attention. And I'm going to say this on public record. This is a public record right here. Whenever you hear about people going to jail or this and that and that, I want y'all to look for this thing first. Here's a question. Did they have a lawyer? That's the first question. That's the first and most ultimate question that you should be asking. First of all, if they went to jail, you know there was a court case. If there was a court case, then you know that they made a plea. If they made a plea, then you know that they put themselves under somebody's jurisdiction. If they put themselves under somebody's jurisdiction, then they're standing as a dead fictitious entity. If they're standing as a dead fictitious entity, then they are a defendant. They're ignorant. They're an imbecile. If they're an imbecile, then it means they had a lawyer. If you have a lawyer, your ass is going to do time, period, and point blank. Because you didn't stand as a sovereign. Pay attention. Pay attention. When you hear about these cases, first thing you want to ask, did they have a lawyer? As soon as you take a lawyer, first of all, even before that, they had to have sent out some kind of what we call an administrative process. And we're going to be dealing with the administrative process in the financial instruments seminar. There has to be an administrative process whereby they send you a notice, hey, you've broken our code, statutes, and ordinances, and we're going to try you on such date. You need to respond to that within a certain amount of time. You need to respond to that. And we deal with how we respond to that as a sovereign. Now, say you don't respond for whatever reason, you don't get your mail in time. Okay, fine. You still should know how to respond. If you're going into court, there's certain things you should know before you get there, like what to say and what not to say. When you go into court, I told you there's remedy, because y'all got to understand something. And I'm going to say this, and we're going to go over this more when we get into the more advanced financial instruments course. But when you go into a courtroom, you are the one who's literally paying the bills. You are the one that is literally paying the bills. You are. And so because we don't understand that whole game, we don't recognize that that's our court. No, you run up in there like, I'm that person, but I'm not guilty because I didn't do that. As soon as you say not guilty, you've entered a plea. You've put yourself under their jurisdiction. You've answered as a dead fictitious entity. You are now a defendant. You're an imbecile. You are out of order. You are in dishonor just by showing up in that court. I'm not telling you not to go to court. What I am saying to you is there's a way that if you're going to show up, you put certain contracts in order, because it's all about contract law, before you go in there. Otherwise, you're not standing in honor. So we go in there and you've answered as a dead fictitious entity because you don't understand that's your court. You're paying the bills. Why are you paying the bills? Because you don't understand that there is a financial instrument at play. That's why y'all need to join the seminar. Oh, but Diva, you should be able to give that to us for free. Some of y'all, you know what? Let me tell y'all something. Right now, we're getting in, especially with UNA, to some very advanced information. And if you are not willing to put the time in, I'm telling you what Diva says, you don't deserve it. You've got to put time and energy into this information, or into gathering this information in order to deserve it. Because, you know, I've had some people to come and go in this organization, and I see that if those people had gotten their hands on this information, they would have destroyed themselves and everybody around them, because they have no self-discipline. They don't truly know self. So yeah, you got to go through it. You got to be willing to sit down and pay attention. You got to pay attention, or you're going to pay some Federal Reserve notes when you get in trouble. So in understanding this game, in understanding this whole game, I say to you, if you have a lawyer, what you have shown, or what you've done, is you've silenced yourself. You have silenced yourself. You don't have a voice any longer. And you've got to understand that all lawyers, especially those who are with the bar, If they're with the bar, then their loyalty and their first duty is to the court, not you. And so if you're hearing about someone, boy, he went to jail, and it's like, well, I think he has because he didn't file this document, he didn't have this name, and he was using this name. Damn it. First things first, what the hell is he doing in court? You in dishonor when there's court case, period. Secondly, is there a lawyer? All right. Y'all got to understand that when you go into a court, all courts have to have a financial instrument. They have to have insurance. All courts have to have insurance. Insurance is money. A financial instrument is money. And guess what? The only people who can create those is a real live human being. That's the only one who can create money. That's you. You going into court, there's an instrument on your name. By law, there has to be. So y'all, these are little things that that you learn when you come into the seminar. I can't teach it all to you right here. I'm giving you remedy. When you go and research, then good. But what we do in the seminar, as I move into the talk about financial instruments, we're walking you through it step by step. So in the financial instruments seminar, we're going to be dealing with administrative process. This is the process that has been going on with you in everything that has been taken from you. So when it's your car, it's your house, when it's your wages, when it's whatever it is that somebody is taken away from you, they're doing an administrative process on you. You just don't recognize it because you don't know the game. How many times I heard people say, they don't play by the rules. They don't play. Wait a minute. You don't know the rules. So how can you say what they play by or what they don't play by when you don't know the rules? Again, you have ignorance and you want freedom. They can't coexist. If you don't know the rules, how can you tell whether they playing by the rules or not? Because you know what's so funny? Once you start getting into this game and you see what the patterns are, they have been playing by the rules the whole time. You don't know the rules. Well, now you're ready to learn them. That's why you want to come in the seminar. All right, so as we get into that, the financial instruments, we will deal with the administrative process. We will deal with court situations, whether it be a mortgage situation, whether it be child support. We're going to deal with contract writing, how we write contracts. We're going to go into some heavier things with respect to what instruments are, how to use them. All right. As we evolve, there's a lot more to come, and it gets a lot deeper with respect to the knowledge that we're learning. And again, if you're willing to put that time and the energy into studying, you're going to gain that knowledge. But with this information, it's heavy, it's deep. And again, the bottom line is, are you walking that line with respect to the universal laws? Because I get a lot of people who, and I'm gonna speak on this. And let me say this before I move on. When I talked about the lawyer, and I'm saying this on public record, if something goes on where Diva LaRue is supposedly involved in something, they talking about I had a lawyer, something foul is going on. I want to make that 100% clear right here on public record. Something foul is going on, because Diva LaRue is a sovereign. Diva LaRue stands under God. Nobody's supposed to be speaking for Diva LaRue. And I full well know, who I am as a spiritual entity and as a God. So nobody need to be speaking for me. If there's somebody talking about, there's a lawyer, then some foul stuff went into play. All right, let's just make that clear. Because anytime you're dealing with their court system, you take a lawyer, somebody doing time, period. I'm not putting myself under their jurisdiction. And there is no fight with me and them. So let me make this clear too. It's not that I'm up here trying to fight against that system. I appreciate that system. because some people do not understand how it is to be self-governed. They think they can do things to other people and get away with it and then have no repercussions because the system can't come back on them. Well, I'm saying to you that the system is there for a reason, and I respect it. I'll say this again, like I've said before. Everything in this dimension has a reason for being. Everything in this dimension has a reason for being, and I respect it. Whether we're talking about a cockroach or we're talking about a government. Because what is a government? Govern means to control the mind. A govern means to control, mint means mind. A government means to control the mind. It has a purpose and a reason for being because some people don't know how to govern themselves. Roaches got a purpose and a reason because some people don't know how to clean up behind themselves. Well, when you clean up behind yourself, the roaches got to go away. When you know how to govern yourself, the government has to go away. So I respect the roach. I respect the government, but I don't want neither one of them in my house. So that's why I make sure I keep what I got going on clean. If I got an issue with somebody, we can ready to handle that between me and you. You, my adversary, I want to agree with you. So with that being said, as we go through this game and come up on this season, this is going to be a full course. I say to you that there's a lot of powerful information. I get people who come to me and they tell me about the things that are going on. Oh, these people coming at me, and they're not understanding how they're playing a role in the energy that's coming towards them. That's important, because if you're coming at me like a victim, if you're coming to me as a victim, I'm not going to be able to help you, because you got to help you. None of us are victims. If there's something going on in our third dimension, we created it. You come here to learn how to deal with it on your own, not for somebody that UNA is not here to fight for you. You don't even have to fight when you get yourself in order. That's just how the game works. When you're in order, there is no fight. So that's the main thing that we do here. Now, I want to talk about, as I get ready to close out, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'm tagging everybody. I'm tagging everybody in this video, man. This is my accent. I have but one. I'm tagging everybody. All right, now, I want to talk about, I get a lot of people coming at me also with speaking about the authenticated birth certificate. And that is getting into the banking side of it. So when we're talking about financial instruments, then we're starting to understand what we need to do to walk like a bank. This is why we do our upper level courses where we have financial instruments, we have trust law basics for business, because we're talking about, do you have the EIN? Do you have your logo? Do you have your seal? Do you have whatever documents that you need to put it under trust, your declaration, security agreement, UCC? Do you have your actual trust document? Is that thing under federal jurisdiction, so that we can make sure that we have our numbers? So these are the things that you're going to need when you start talking about walking like a bank. Do you understand this trust law basics for business part of it? Do you understand what it takes with respect to the financial instruments, what a financial instrument is, how to create one, how to use it, how to write the contract for it? Well, then that's, you put those together, then you're ready to go into banking. Now you're ready to start really getting into understanding how that really works. And that's where we're going. So I want to thank you all for joining us. And if you all have any questions, you all make sure you send those to UNA America on Facebook. And don't forget to go and subscribe to UNA Republic on YouTube. Subscribe to UNA Republic on YouTube. But yeah, we've got a big season coming up. So we got the authenticated birth certificate. Remembering you are a bank, you must show up like a bank. We start talking about the authenticated birth. You got to show up like a bank. Some of y'all, you out here, you don't really understand this game. You're not recognizing that everything that you're signing is a financial instrument. You're not understanding that you are the money. Well, this is where you come in here and you start learning who you are and what you're doing. And then the more you learn, the more you're going to see how powerful your signature is in this game. And even when you start talking about, like, let's say these people snatch you up and they kidnap you, and you're not understanding that when you sign things, you're consenting for them to create instruments. You're consenting. That's an instrument you just created. Oh, we want the fingerprints. You put your fingerprints down and then you go to signing it. You just created an instrument. We're not giving them instruments to create anymore, because as soon as you give them an instrument, you've given them money. And as long as you don't give them money, then they don't want to hold you, because they're not making money. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. All right, let them go there. You got to know the game. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I thank you all so much. Look forward to seeing you all in the seminar coming up. I love you. I appreciate you, my spirits with vessels. Let's get this information going so we can grow. We can grow together, grow in our knowledge, and go to another level with respect to where we're standing in this game. All right, because this game is, y'all recognize. I told y'all we're going into another dimension. Things are flipping. Things are flipping. Where are you in this game? You gonna be on that side over there? Because we flipping. And depending on your knowledge, that's going to depend on where you end up in this game. All right. So, Divalerie, I love you all. Once again, we're starting on the 11th, July 11th, coming up this Sunday. That's going to be our first session, our first seminar. That's the history seminar. So that's on the 11th every Sunday. And then we have the Back to Basics seminar. That's on every Monday. That's starting on the 12th. And then we have the Financial Instrument Seminar. That's every Wednesday, starting on the 14th. Y'all go to unauniversity.com and you can go ahead and register and join up for whichever seminar you want to be a part of. You'll see the lineup as you scroll down. Make sure that once you get that, you send that, go ahead and send a confirmation. All right. Do a screenshot and send that confirmation to UNA, and we're going to get you enrolled. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for joining us. I'm out. Bye-bye.